After 10 years of chopping wood, I am invincible. 11 Chapter 11, Major Events, Practice System. The task has been completed, get a random reward, hide +1. Meng Xing quickly walked 100 feet away from the secluded yard, only to breathe a sigh of relief. However, he was also a little curious in his heart, who in the end had a private meeting, and actually triggered the system. Is it a man or a woman, or a man or a woman? However, to dare to have a private meeting there, his strength is definitely not low. If he shouted it out, it would definitely be the rhythm of courting death. A thin arm can't twist a thigh, no matter who it is. It's better not to care about other people's private affairs. Back in his small room, Meng Xing continued to practice Lei Yuan Tian Gang art and Jing Shui Bo Yuan Gong. The Lei Ling vein and Shui Ling vein in his danshan were nearly 8 feet long, and as long as they reached 8 feet in length, they were at the 8th level of the open pulse realm. You can feel the vitality in the spiritual veins surging. As long as it spews out, it will form a powerful force. Of course, in addition to the power in the spiritual veins, the pure physical power is also very powerful, and with the gradually increasing physique, the physical quality is also gradually improving. This is the power given by the system. If you are fighting against people, in addition to using the power of the 2 spiritual veins, you can also use the power of the flesh, and the 3 layers can be superimposed to increase your own stamina and explosive power. Others have only 1 amulet for practicing 1 spiritual meridian, but Meng Xing has 3 amulet. Lei Yuan Tian Gang Ju and Jing Shui Bo Yuan Gong practiced for an hour each, and the 2 spiritual veins in his danshan grew by almost an inch. Meng Xing felt mentally tired, so he rested. The days are so easy and leisurely to live. It used to be hard work to chop wood, but now it is very easy. It can be solved 1 or 2 hours in advance, and the rest of the time is to go to the wool of the system. As for going to Xiao Yuluo's place, Meng Xing would not go if she could not go. As for the Huang level exercises she taught, it was also a water attribute exercise. As long as she showed her success in opening her pulse at the right time, she would reach the first order of pulse opening. That's it. However, he didn't want to leave this dining hall. It's so good to develop in a low-key way here, and there are no too many restraints. Except for Zhang Sunta, the fat general manager, who will come to inspect, no one will take care of this place, and no one will notice here. And since Xiao Yuluo valued him, Zhang Sunta didn't dare to do anything to him, and he kept smiling with him every day, asking him to say good things in front of Xiao Yuluo and leave a good impression on her. The best thing is to match the 2 of them together and make them a fairy couple. Meng Xing really wanted to spit on his face, without even looking at himself. The toad also wanted to eat swan meat. 5 days later, a big event happened in Jianke Peak. An elder died tragically in his yard. It is said that the essence of flesh and blood was extracted from his whole body, leaving only his skin and bones. He died silently. Almost no one knows. For a while, Jianke Peak was in a state of panic, and every disciple was afraid that this kind of thing would happen to him. It is said that the Peak Master was also very angry, and ordered the law enforcement elders to thoroughly investigate the matter. At the same time, the sect master of Jinwu sect was also alarmed and came to Jianke Peak to check the situation. Yang Xiaochui came to Meng Xing's small room with a jug, and talked about it while drinking and chatting with Meng Xing. This elder is Senior Brother Li's master. Senior Brother Li also said that as long as I break through to the 7th rank of Open Pulse Realm, he will introduce me to Elder Wu. I didn't expect this to happen. Yang Xiaochui drank a glass of wine, said with a sigh, "It's bad luck. If you drink water, your teeth will be stuck between your teeth." Brother Li is also very sad. He and Elder Wu are in the same father and son. Hearing this, it's like a bolt from the blue, and the whole person is stunned. Meng Xing patted him on the shoulder, took a sip of wine, and said, "Is it found out who did it?" Brother Li said that it may be someone from the demon sect, and only the people from the demon sect can do this kind of exercise that absorbs essence and flesh. For example, the Gorfiend sect and the red-clothed demon sect. It is said that some people practice this kind of devouring essence, primordial flesh and blood exercises. Yang Xiaochui said. Meng Xing nodded. These days, he has also heard about the magic door. There are also ways to cultivate the magic way in this world, and the magic cultivation method is faster and stronger than the martial arts cultivation method. Cultivation of martial arts is a steady, step-by-step approach, while cultivation of demons is a bit of a different kind of cultivation technique, and it can grab the power of others for one's own use, which is completely different. Not only the demon sect, but also Dao sect, Buddhist sect, demon sect, and even ghost cultivators. After death, if one's heart is full of resentment, anger, and unwillingness, they will be transformed into grievances and exist in this world, and some grievances will still be cultivated. Form exists in this world. Therefore, this world is simply extremely dangerous. The martial arts system in this world also comes from Buddhism. There is a saying that martial arts in the world come from Buddhism. For example, in the 9th grade open pulse state, Buddhism is also in the state of open mind, but the opened Buddhist veins are colorless and void-free. Another example is the 8th grade condensed phase state. Buddhism is also in the state of condensed phase, but the cultivation is Buddha-like, and there is no such thing as emptiness. Mutually. There is also Daemon. It is said that people who practice Daemon can cultivate into land gods, cross mountains and seas, and kill thousands of miles. They are omnipotent and incomparable. And the demon gate is purely the cultivation of demon beasts into demons, and each of them is also extremely powerful. Meng Xing also heard from his disciples that a certain disciple went down the mountain to train and was killed by monsters, and his whole body was eaten by monsters. When I came to this world, the more I understood this world, the more treacherous I felt. Elder Wu's death made Meng Xing feel terrified and extremely vigilant. I'm just a firewood chopping disciple, so it's better not to get involved in these troubles. I'd better keep chopping firewood for a few years, and wait until my strength is strong. Meng Xing and Yang Xiaochui drank for a while and left with a sigh. Underappreciated talent, probably like Yang Xiaochui. Yu reading www.yuyukangsha.com. Every time he feels hope is coming, but reality kills his hope again. Meng Xing also sighed. If he didn't have the help of the system, I'm afraid it would be the same. How difficult is it to become a powerful person in this world? However, he had to improve his strength as soon as possible. Elder Wu was a master of the 7th rank God refinement realm, but he was also killed. If he encountered this strength, I am afraid that he would not have the strength to resist. Let's continue to practice honestly. These days, Meng Xing has also broken through to the 8th level of Open Pulse realm, and is moving towards the 9th level. By the way, I don't know how powerful my body is. These days, he only cares about the wool, and Meng Xing has not tested his strength. Coming to a forest outside, where there are few people, it is very suitable for Meng Xing to test his strength. He punched a boulder, and with a bang, the boulder shattered. Meng Xing also tested his speed response, which was also very fast. Meng Xing tried the Lei Yuan Tian Gang tactic, and a force of thunder and lightning blasted out, directly smashing the boulder into pieces, and the force of thunder and lightning also blasted the stone a little black. This effect is not as powerful as the physical strength. Meng Xing tried the still water wave Yuan Gong. Again, a water column blasted out, hitting the boulder, and the boulder was also smashed into pieces. The effect was similar to the power of thunder and lightning, but it did not have the effect of burning. The sludge was washed away. Yes, but the physical strength given by the system is still powerful. The wool of the system is finally faster than his own cultivation, but it doesn't matter. If you practice more, it will not be bad for yourself, and it is also a training method rewarded by the system. I am afraid that the system also wants him to combine the physical body with the martial arts. Practice together. Chapter 12, 2 Reasons. After trying his own strength, Meng Xing felt a little more confident. He felt that he was not as weak as he thought, and his self-confidence had recovered a lot. Back at my residence, I was preparing to practice when I heard a voice from the outer door. Meng Xing, are you there? The voice was clear and sweet, exactly that of Zhou Ruoqing. Meng Xing felt helpless, opened the door and said, yes. What's wrong? You know, Hufa Xiao asked you to go there and instruct you on the exercises. Zhou Ruoqing looked at Meng Xing with her beautiful eyes and said, all right. Meng Xing closed the door and followed behind her. Hufa Xiao told you to go. Why are you still reluctant? She cares about your cultivation. Zhou Ruoqing said. Other men are eager to be summoned by Protector Xiao. I'm different from them. They want to lick everything. Meng Xing complained in his heart. It took me so long to cultivate my spiritual veins. Compared with a genius like Hufa Xiao, I am a scumbag, so I am embarrassed to show my face in front of her, Meng Xing said. It's time to reveal a little bit of his strengths. After all, Xiao Yuluo personally taught her. If she didn't make any progress, wouldn't she lose face? Scumbag. Zhou Ruoqing couldn't understand. It's that the teacher's teaching level is good, but the student's cultivation level is not good, and the aptitude is not good, so they can't learn it, Meng Xing said. After listening to Meng Xing's explanation, Zhou Ruo easily understood and said, however, I think you seem to be very confident as if you have a strong strength, and you don't seem to feel inferior at all because of your poor strengths. I'm born to be useful. If I can't practice martial arts, I'm good at playing the qin, right? If I can't play the qin, I can still chop wood, so why should I feel inferior? Meng Xing said. Chopping wood, what kind of use is it? Zhou Ruoqing didn't understand. Being a disciple of chopping wood, you still have confidence, and your face is really thick. However, this guy seems to have some knowledge, and he even exported it. I was born to be useful, and no one had ever said such a thing before. Zhou Ruoqing thought to himself and heard Meng Xing say, of course, if I hadn't been here to chop wood, would the dining hall be able to cook for you? Can you practice with peace of mind if you have no food to eat and are hungry? If you were asked to cook by yourself, would you be willing? Zhou Ruoqing was speechless, but what he said really made sense. However, after these remarks, Zhou Ruoqing was even more impressed with him. It seems that this person can teach Xiao Hufa to play the piano, and he has some knowledge. The treatment of being a chopping wood disciple is of course not as good as those who concentrate on cultivation, and it is said that they are only practicing low-grade Huang level exercises. Cultivating such a practice, it is almost impossible to get in and out. However, now with Hufa Xiao's appreciation, as long as this guy works hard, he will have a chance to turn around. The two stopped talking, walked all the way to Xiao Yuluo's yard, explained, and Zhou Ruo left easily. When she walked outside the door, Zhou Ruoqing heard the sound of the piano, and immediately stopped and stood. After the song ended, she walked away with light steps. At this moment, in the pavilion, Xiao Yuluo looked at Meng Xing with a hopeful expression, lightly opened his red lips, and said, Meng Xing, how did I play? Meng Xing applauded and said, Senior sister, you are playing better, and you are at the level of a master of Kindeo. Indeed, Meng Xing felt that the other party was better than himself, who was played by the system, and Xiao Yuluo really liked to play, so it was easier to immerse himself in it, but he just liked listening to music, let himself play, really. It's a bit reluctant. Xiao Yuluo had a smile on his face and said, Meng Xing, you are becoming more and more good at talking. Well, I actually felt bored when I came to you this time. I wanted to chat with you and take a look at your cultivation. How? 3 options immediately appeared in front of Meng Xing. 1. Continue to chat plainly with Xiao Yuluo. 2. Refuse to chat with her and cut off relations with her. 3. Said to her, Senior sister, let's hug together. If we don't see each other for 1 day, it's like 3 autumns. We have been separated for several days, and I don't know how many autumns have passed. This system is playing tricks on me. The latter 2 are the rhythm of killing. 1 is to cut off the relationship, and the other is to deepen the relationship. Meng Xing decisively chose the first option. Meng Xing said, Senior sister, chat, okay, I don't know what you want to say. The task has been completed, get a random reward, cooking +1. Xiao Yuluo said, guess what? What do I want to say? Guessing people's inner thoughts is very difficult, but combined with the recent events at Jianke Peak, you can also know Xiao Yuluo's mood. Senior sister, what you want to say is about that elder Wu. Meng Xing thought about it and said. Xiao Yuluo nodded and said, Meng Xing, you're actually quite smart. You can guess my thoughts as soon as you guess. I really feel wrong for you to go chopping wood, and I don't know who sent you there. The people in the dining hall are simply unknown. Recently, Jianke Peak, everyone is a little panicked. Elder Wu died inexplicably and a little strangely. Everyone is uneasy, worried that Jianke Peak is in great danger. Senior sister is depressed, it must be because of this matter, so she is also very worried. Good guess, Meng Xing said, while drinking tea. Then tell me, why was this elder Wu killed? Xiao Yuluo asked. Senior sister, you are so difficult for me. I'm not familiar with elder Wu, how do I know the reason for him? Meng Xing said. Just guess a few, Xiao Yuluo said. Meng Xing thought for a while, and said, Elder Wu died for 2 reasons. The first one, it might be a vendetta. Someone had a conflict with him and wanted to kill him. That person might have practiced the magic art by himself, and he also wanted to kill him. It may be that he was secretly killed by the hands of the demon sect. Xiao Yuluo nodded and said, what about the second one? The second reason may be that the enemy of our true martial sect was dormant on our Jianke Peak, ready to cause trouble for us, and Elder Wu happened to discover some secrets of the enemy, so he was killed by the other party. Meng Xing said. Xiao Yuluo said, these 2 reasons are actually guessed by everyone. However, the elders of the law enforcement hall have been inspecting everywhere, and they have not found anyone entering the Jianke Peak, so there is a possibility of vendetta, and the person who killed him will also be killed. It might be someone from Jianke Peak. Meng Xing nodded and said, yes, it may be someone he knew who suddenly attacked and killed him, so he couldn't resist at all. Or maybe that person's strength surpassed Elder Wu too much, and Elder Wu couldn't react at all. Come on, they have already been killed. When the incident happened, no one heard anything at all, otherwise, with Elder Wu's cultivation, there would definitely be a loud noise. Xiao Yuluo was thoughtful. After a while, he suddenly stood up and said, your words reminded me. I'll go and talk to the elders of the law enforcement hall. You wait here for me. Saying that, she hurried out, leaving Meng Xing alone in the pavilion. Chapter 13, Pretending to be weak is also very hard. The 2 reasons mentioned by Meng Xing are actually very good guesses. The law enforcement elders of Jianke Peak must have also thought of it, but everyone was confused and shocked, and they might not have thought of more details for a while. Meng Xing sat in the pavilion, drinking tea quietly, and after half an hour, he saw Xiao Yuluo hurried back. Xiao Yuluo sat down, poured himself a cup of tea, took a sip, and said with a smile, Meng Xing, thank you. I have already told my master what you said, and the master also noticed some features. I believe it will soon be found out. Meng Xing nodded. It seemed that Xiao Yuluo's master was from the law enforcement hall, and his power was not small. The master said that it may be someone from the red-clothed demon sect who hid in our Jianke Peak to hear news, and hid in Elder Wu's courtyard. While Elder Wu was not paying attention, he suddenly attacked and killed him, absorbing his flesh and blood. Jing Yuan. There is a palm print on Elder Wu's back. After killing Elder Wu, that person doesn't know where to hide. Xiao Yuluo said. How do you know it's from the demon sect in red? Meng Xing asked. Because in Elder Wu's yard, a small piece of delicate red silk was found. Obviously, the person from the red-clothed devil's door accidentally dropped it, and only people from the red-clothed devil's door would like this kind of red silk things. Xiao Yuluo said. Meng Xing said, so it is. But he felt that things did not seem so simple. This kind of blaming someone is very simple to do. As a careful dormant person, how could he just leave a small piece of red ling in Elder Wu's yard? However, this kind of thing cannot be said. Everything is my own guess. In order to stabilize people's hearts, Jian Shifeng must also find out the reason as soon as possible and announce the matter, lest everyone feel uneasy and affect their cultivation and life. As for other reasons, it may also be searched in the dark. This sword pond peak is also a dark pond. In an invisible place, there is a big hand that seems to be slowly opening. It seems that I still have to be careful. With my little strength, it is not enough to see it. I still have to break through to the 8th grade condensed phase as soon as possible. A smile appeared on Xiao Yuluo's face, giving Meng Xing the feeling of looking back and smiling at a beautiful life. She said, Meng Xing, let's see how your cultivation is now. You can run the exercises I taught you. Senior sister, I succeeded in opening the pulse, and now I'm at the first stage of the open pulse state. As Meng Xing revolved the exercises taught by Xiao Yuluo, a small stream of water appeared in the palm of his hand. Well, that's right. The people in the personnel hall really misunderstood the children and sent you to the dining hall. I have already told them that in the future, the minimum exercises for you to practice should be at the top of the yellow level. Otherwise, I will go. The law enforcement hall will sue them. Xiao Yuluo said. Senior sister, thank you. Meng Xing said sincerely. This senior sister looks gentle like water on the outside, but she does things vigorously and resolutely. Knowledgeable and polite, gentle as water, and elegant and artistic temperament. She is also decisive in doing things, and she looks stunning. Such a woman is extremely likely to cause the outbreak of male hormones and arouse men's desire to conquer. Since your cultivation has reached the first rank, why don't you stop chopping wood in the dining hall? I will go to the personnel hall and tell them, Xiao Yuluo said. The personnel allocation and dispatch of Jiankapik are generally arranged by the Human Resources Office. Therefore, if Meng Xing wants to leave the dining hall of the outer disciples, he also needs to arrange it from the personnel hall. Meng Xing had long expected Xiao Yuluo to say this, shook his head, and said, Senior sister, I'm not bad in the dining hall, and chopping wood is also a kind of training for me. Can you do anything else? Meng Xing just wants to develop in a low-key manner, and the chopping wood disciple is the best cover. If he had to suffer this kind of hardship before his cultivation, he would definitely not want to do it. Every day was exhausting, and the tasks were arranged so that there was no time for rest at all. It was simply not done by humans. It used to take a day to do the work, but now he can do it in a few hours. He can still move his muscles and bones, and exercise his whole body strength. Why not do it? Xiao Yuluo did not expect that Meng Xing didn't want to leave the dining hall. If it was someone else, he would have wanted to leave earlier. After all, staying there would always be looked down upon and looked down upon by others. But Meng Xing didn't even care. He was still very confident, and he didn't look at all inferior. This is also very rare. No wonder Meng Xing dared to say in front of him that his piano skills were not good. If someone else saw her, he would be trembling when he spoke, and he would not be able to speak properly. After thinking about it for a while, Xiao Yuluo said, What you said makes sense. When you reach the 7th rank of Open Pulse Realm and become an inner disciple, you won't need to do such a thing. Meng Xing smiled and said nothing. Let's look at it later. I don't want to leave a place so easy to hide my identity. Xiao Yuluo pointed out some key points of the exercises, and said without hesitation. Meng Xing listened hard, and almost fell asleep when Xiao Yuluo glared at him a few times. Wake up quickly. Really suffer? Sister, don't be so serious, okay? I can't take it anymore. Meng Xing complained inwardly. Then, Xiao Yuluo taught Meng Xing a set of swordsmanship, but it made Meng Xing serious and learn it in a proper manner. After a few practice, Meng Xing became proficient. Just to show his weakness, Meng Xing had to pretend that he had not fully learned it. Otherwise it would not match the strength of the first order pulse opening realm that he showed, and he would be Xiao Xiao at a glance. Yuluo saw his abnormality. Xiao Yuluo is a very serious and good teacher. But for Meng Xing, it was a bit of a pain. After a while, Xiao Yuluo stopped explaining, and Meng Xing breathed a sigh of relief. Senior sister, your serious attitude is unbelievable. Won't you fool the little junior brother? Xiao Yuluo said, after you go back, practice diligently. Next time you need an assessment. Yes, senior sister. Meng Xing felt numb and just wanted to get out of here quickly. It was also very hard to pretend to be weak. Why did it somehow become Xiao Yuluo who wanted to teach himself to practice? If I had known this earlier, I shouldn't have shouted that sentence last time. Meng Xing, how about you play another song for me? You are so tired of teaching you, so you can relax your mind by listening to the song you play. Xiao Yuluo looked at Meng Xing with expectant eyes. Okay, Meng Xing said, just in time. He had to treat his numb mind. So, Meng Xing played a tune loudly, and in Xiao Yuluo's unfinished eyes, he left here as if he were fleeing. Sure enough, with this little junior brother, my mood is much better. Xiao Yuluo murmured as he watched Meng Xing leave. Chapter 14, Different. There was a sly smile on Xiao Yuluo's face. Others can't wait to stay with me, or get my advice, but I didn't agree. But you kept thinking about leaving here and didn't even take the initiative to come. Here, I have to invite you to come. The more you want to leave, the more you want to leave. Xiao Yuluo continued with a smile on his face. As long as she thinks of Meng Xing's expression, she finds it very interesting. How could she not see that Meng Xing seemed unwilling to stay here for a while longer? But she just wanted to teach him a little more, seeing his sleepy expression in front of her, and her stare turning serious. Moreover, she really wanted Meng Xing to become stronger and stronger under her own teaching, so she felt very fulfilled. Meng Xing walked out of the yard and walked for a while. Seeing that the sky was dark, he just wanted to go back quickly. At this moment, 3 figures appeared in front of Meng Xing and surrounded him. These 3 people were the 3 guardians who visited Xiao Yuluo last time. Boy, what kind of crazy soup have you poured into Hufa Xiao, so that she often invites you to her place? We want to go to her place these days, but every time we are turned away by her. Hufa Huang said. Besides playing the piano with Hufa Xiao, what else did you and Hufa do? Say it one by one, otherwise, it will make you look good. Hufa Ye said fiercely. Meng Xing wanted to say, in addition to playing the piano, we also fell in love. But if this sentence spread to Xiao Yuluo, he would be saddened. I think, beat him hard. If he dares to say this in front of Hufa Xiao, he will be beaten to death next time. Hufa Zhang also said with fierce eyes. Meng Xing was a little speechless. If the Jinwu sect only had these 3 guys who thought about picking up girls every day, they wouldn't have to open it, they would just go bankrupt. These 3 people are all in the 8th grade condensed phase. More than half a month ago, facing these 3 people, he was still very frightened. Just the momentum made Meng Xing a little breathless. But now he is at the 8th rank of Open Pulse Realm, and his physical strength is also very strong. In the face of the momentum emanating from them, he already has a great resistance, and naturally he will not feel much threat. Meng Xing has 3 options in front of him. 1. Shout out, "Senior sister, come and save me." 2. Fight with the 3 people in front of you, and you will lose both. 3. Without resistance, you were beaten to death. Meng Xing chose the first option, and then shouted, "Senior sister, come and save me." The 3 guardians were shocked when they heard it. This place was not very far from Xiao Yuluo's yard. She could still hear it so loud. This guy is simply very timid. Before he even started to beat him, he called for help directly. It was really unreasonable to play cards. Come on. Hurry up, Hufa Zhang said. His body flashed, and he left the place in an instant. Whizzing. Hufa Huang and Hufa Ye were so frightened that their faces turned pale, and they quickly fled from the place. The 3 came and went quickly, and they didn't have the guts to stay for a while. Hufa Xiao's master is from the law enforcement hall. If she sued her master, they may not be able to eat and leave. That's it. Meng Xing was stunned. These 3 guys flashed too fast, several times. Faster than when they came. Meng Xing shook his head. He thought how powerful they were. It turned out to be a silver-like wax spearhead, and he couldn't stand the shock, so if he wanted to win Xiao Yuluo's favor, it was definitely out of the question. The task has been completed. Get a random reward, strength +1 through the options displayed by the system just now. Meng Xing also has some understanding of his own strengths. If he fights with those 3 guardians, it will be a lose-lose situation at most, which shows that his strength has also improved a lot. Just over half a month, has been able to stand up to other people's 10 years of ascetic cultivation. However, if you really fight recklessly, your hidden strength will be exposed, and you may not be able to keep a low profile. In the future, through the tragic death of Elder Wu, he has become more aware of the importance of low-key development. Those who are too sharp and showy will always be watched by those who have a heart. Whoosh! A figure appeared in front of Meng Xing and landed beside him. It was Xiao Yuluo, holding a long sword in his hand, and said, "Meng Xing, what's the matter? You asked me to save you." Xiao Yuluo was thinking about Meng Xing, who had just left, when he heard a faint cry for help, and ran out to check the situation. Meng Xing said, "It's those 3 Dharma guardians. You refused them to enter your yard, and they poured their grievances on my head." Naturally, Meng Xing couldn't take care of those 3 spineless guys, all for the sake of shouting and killing. Should he leave some affection for them? Xiao Yuluo had to recognize the true colors of these 3 guys as soon as possible, and he would not fall for their tricks in the future. Xiao Yuluo frowned and said, "How dare they come to trouble you? Humph! I'll warn them tomorrow. If they dare to do it again, I'll ask the people from the law enforcement hall to find them." Meng Xing bowed his hands and said with a smile, "Thank you, senior sister. Okay, I'll take you back, so that they won't trouble you again on the road." Xiao Yuluo said, "No, they shouldn't dare to show up again. You go back to rest first," Meng Xing said. Meng Xing felt that if she really walked back with Xiao Yuluo and was seen by those who liked her, next time I would really have to cut herself with a knife. It would be better for her to keep a low profile. This Jianke Peak is really getting more and more unsafe. Okay. Xiao Yuluo hesitated for a while, and then saw Meng Xing's firm eyes, as if he really didn't need to him, then said. Watching Xiao Yuluo go back, Meng Xing continued to walk back, returned to his residence, and began to continue to practice. In a boudoir where the outer disciples lived, Zhou Ruoqing told Luo Yao, who had just left the customs, about Meng Xing's senior sister Xiao actually pays so much attention to Meng Xing. Meng Xing taught her to play the piano, and she instructed Meng Xing to practice. Luo Yao said in surprise. She was still somewhat impressed by Meng Xing's actions that day. However, as she cultivated seriously in order to make a breakthrough, she had long forgotten about it. If it wasn't for Zhou Ruoqing's advance, she would never have thought of it. Yes. Zhou Ruo nodded lightly. Meng Xing's piano skills are superb, and the melody he plays is also exciting and very pleasant. Obviously, senior sister Xiao was moved by his piano sound, so she likes him so much. I didn't expect that there is such a talented person hidden among these low-level chopping disciples. Has he succeeded in opening the pulse? Luo Yao said. Successful, only the first order pulse is opened. Obviously, senior sister Xiao taught him the cultivation techniques of high-rank Huang level, which allowed him to break through. Zhou Ruoqing said. Another woman, Yesualian, said with a smile, I see that he was so concerned with you last time, senior sister, and he must have wanted to win your favor, but you ignored him, so he found Hufa Xiao. This guy really has some tricks. Luo Yao nodded and said, senior sister Xiao was only attracted by his piano skills for a while. As long as she has a fresh energy, I'm afraid she won't care. Let's not care about these things, and don't mention them in the future. Zhou Ruo shook his head lightly, but did not speak. With Luo Yao's status as a disciple of the outer sect Tianjiao, he really doesn't need to care about a person who is only at the first rank of the Pulse realm. However, she always felt that Meng Xing was a little different, and just because he was neither humble nor arrogant when facing Hufa Xiao, not many people could do it. Chapter 15, U1 and #039, T. Enjoy it. The next day, Meng Xing got up and continued to chop wood in the backyard of the dining hall. As his strength improved, it became easier and easier to chop wood, but in order not to be seen as abnormal, he was just a little faster than usual. Crack, kick. Pieces of wood are easily split into smaller pieces. Yang Xiaochui walked in quickly and said, Meng Xing, the cause of Elder Wu's death has been found, and the law enforcement hall has announced it. The efficiency of this law enforcement hall is really fast. Meng Xing thought to himself. Oh, what's the reason? It's the people from the red-clothed demon sect lurking in Jianke Peak, but unfortunately they haven't been found yet. The executive hall decided to set up a patrol team to patrol our Jianke Peak every day, and increase prevention efforts, so as not to give the red-clothed demon sect people a chance to take advantage. Some elders are also preparing to go down the mountain and deal severe blows to the people in the red-clothed demon sect to avenge Elder Wu's great revenge. Yang Xiaochui said. Meng Xing nodded and said, it's easy to know who did it. The law enforcement hall can take targeted precautions. We don't need to panic, and we can live our lives with peace of mind. Yeah, but Senior Brotherly was still very sad, and decided to join the patrol team, vowing to catch the man in the red-clothed demon sect. Yang Xiaochui said. Meng Xing thought to himself, the truth must be the people from the red-clothed demon sect. Maybe it's someone else lurking in the dark. The elders of the executive hall don't know if they realize it. No matter what, I still have to be careful. Meng Xing faintly felt that this matter is not that simple. There may be an undercurrent surging in the entire Jianke Peak, and even the entire Jinmu sect. However, as a low-level chopping wood disciple, you must have the awareness of chopping wood disciples. The big things are falling down, and there are tall people on top. Even if he wanted to take care of it, if he didn't have enough strength to take care of it, it was the rhythm of courting death. Even Elder Wu was silently killed, draining his flesh and blood and dying, not to mention his little scoundrel. Therefore, it is necessary to develop in a low profile and control more strength as soon as possible. The two chatted for a while, and then Yang Xiaochui went back. The following days were spent peacefully. Meng Xing took time out every day to hang out and brush the system, triggering rewards, and practiced those two exercises at night, and his strength improved very quickly. It's a pity that after the two adventures to get 2 sets of exercises, the system no longer rewards exercises. Meng Xing also decided to play steadily. There are 2 sets of exercises that are enough for him to learn for a period of time. Taking risks is too risky. If one is not good, he will finish himself. And the adventure may also have follow-up troubles. Just look at Xiao Yuluo, and in 10 days and a half, he will be called to go and torture him. This senior, being a teacher is really addicting. Seeing how serious she was, Meng Xing had to hold his nose and endure it, or else he would have turned over to be the master long ago. The days passed quickly, another month passed. Meng Xing's cultivation had already broken through to the condensation realm, reaching the 2nd rank of the condensation realm. And the thunder spirit vein and water spirit vein in Danshan have more than doubled compared to before, like 2 rushing small rivers, constantly flowing. However, as the attribute points of the hidden skills increased, the 2 spiritual veins were covered up, and only he could feel them. And what he showed outside, this time became the 3rd order open pulse realm. Xiao Yuluo was even more excited when she saw that her younger brother had made such a huge progress in his training. He looked very fulfilled. He guided Meng Xing from 10 days and a half months to once every 5 days, forcing Meng Xing to practice. Practice. Her reason is that she must let Meng Xing break through to the 7th level of the open pulse realm and enter the ranks of inner disciples. Meng Xing regretted it. If he had known this, I would have been a waste. He would torture me once every 3 or 5 days, it was like being beaten with blood. Next, Meng Xing decided to hide his clumsiness. After the 3rd rank of the open pulse realm, he would never show a higher realm. The younger brother has no talent for cultivation, but is just a waste of life. Senior sister, you will never torture me again. Another month passed peacefully. After Xiao Yuluo saw Meng Xing at the 3rd rank of Kaimei realm, he was unable to survive. It seemed that this month had been practiced in vain, so he decided to come and ask Meng Xing to follow him every afternoon. She went to the back mountain to practice together. Meng Xing was struck by lightning, and he regretted that he took the initiative to provoke her last time for the reward of the system. The senior sister, she simply vowed to never give up. Don't you know that you are tired of this tossing? In this way, he has no time to go outside to brush the system. How can he get rewards? On this day, when Meng Xing finished chopping firewood in the morning, he saw Xiao Yuluo approaching with graceful steps. Zhang Sandu saw Xiao Yuluo entering the dining hall. He hurriedly nodded and bowed to greet him, and said with a smile, "Why is Xiao Hufa so elegant and come to my dining hall? I'm here to find Meng Xing. Meng Xing will chop wood here in the morning and follow me to practice in the afternoon. Do you have any opinion?" Xiao Yuluo glanced at him and said. Zhang Santu only felt that that glance was going to take away his soul. The muscles on his face were shaking with excitement, his hands were shaking, and he said hastily, "No opinion, no opinion. It's good to have no opinion. Meng Xing, come with me." Xiao Yuluo glanced at Meng Xing, who was sitting in the corner drowsy. Meng Xing followed her with a bitter face. "Senior sister, can we stop going to the back mountain? I'm afraid of ghosts." Meng Xing said. "Where can there be ghosts in this daytime? Even if there are ghosts, they are afraid of the sword in my hand. Why are you so timid?" Xiao Yuluo said, looking at Meng Xing. You reading www.youcanchu.com. I don't think you are afraid of ghosts at all. You just want to be lazy and don't want to cultivate. This month, I have to let you break through to the 1st order. Senior sister, can we stop being so serious? I'm just a disciple who chops wood, and I'm not suitable for cultivation at all. Can you let me chop wood until the end of the world?" Meng Xing said with a bitter face. "Chop the wood to the end? With your level of speaking? Senior sister thinks you can do it. Hurry up and follow," Xiao Yuluo said. Zhang Santu stared dumbfoundedly at the way the 2 of them walked while talking. There were other disciples in the dining hall, who were also stunned and envious when they saw this scene. Everyone thought that it would be great if they were the firewood chopping disciple, and they would get so much attention from Hufa. Xiao, and the chopping wood disciple seemed reluctant, and it was simply a blessing that he would not enjoy. When did the luck of the chopping wood disciple turn out to be so good? On the mountain behind Jianke Peak, in a remote and quiet place, 2 people each sat on a boulder, meditating and practicing. Meng Xing, practice hard, don't be lazy. Xiao Yuluo glanced at him and said. "Understood, senior sister." Meng Xing had no choice but to use this time to practice Lei Yuan Tian Gang art and Jing Shui Bo Yuan Gong. Under the cover of hidden skills, Xiao Yuluo should not feel it. As long as a month or two later, when her freshness wears off, she probably won't be bothering herself again. In the past 2 months, I have worked myself. Thinking like this, Meng Xing closed his eyes and entered into the practice. Soon, the afternoon passed. In the evening, the two returned to their respective residences facing the afterglow of the setting sun. Meng Xing rested for a while, and at night, he came out to hang out and brush the system. Chapter 16, Beautiful. The task has been completed. Get a random reward. Strength +1. The task has been completed. Get a random reward. Array +1. The task has been completed. Get a random reward. Calligraphy +1. As Meng Xing kept brushing the system, more and more skill attributes were unlocked. Fortunately, there was systematic indoctrination. If you rely on yourself to learn, you still don't know how to learn. Taking advantage of the darkness, Meng Xing visited all the places of the outer sect disciples of Jianke Peak, and even went to the back mountain where no one was there. It is a pity that this system will not be triggered in places where no one is present. It seems that this system should still be people-oriented. With the in-depth understanding of the system, Meng Xing also knows that the options of this system sometimes warn of what is about to happen. However, what the system likes most is to let him complete difficult tasks, and then give him rewards, especially after seeing a woman. The trigger is more frequent. Meng Xing has some doubts whether this system is teaching people how to do it. Just look at senior sister Xiao. After the strategy, it's like a candy. I came to the outside of the remote yard last time. 1. Move on. 2. Break into the yard, and you will be beaten half to death as a result. 3. Shouting. You guys have a private meeting there, don't think I don't know. Meng Xing was suddenly shocked and came again. This private meeting is really frequent, it's really a couple. Don't know how to stop for a while? Meng Xing chose the first option and quickly slipped away. Don't do things that kill you. The task has been completed. Get a random reward. Strength +1. After walking for a while, Meng Xing looked back at the yard hidden in the darkness. Who was the private meeting in that yard? The system was triggered twice, and the options were similar. However, curiosity killed the cat, and it's better not to be curious. The next morning, as soon as Meng Xing walked to the dining hall, Zhang Sunta's eyes stared at him and came to him. Meng Xing, isn't it cool to practice with Hufa Xiao? It's a blessing to be accompanied by beautiful women. Zhang Santa said. Just say what you want to say. Meng Xing's face was calm. Yeah, I warn you, don't be mean to Xiao Hufa. Xiao Hufa is a genius among our inner disciples. There are many people who like her. You are not strong enough to get into trouble with her. Be careful that other people will try your best to find you. Zhang Santa said. Also, if you continue to want to stay in this dining hall, you'd better listen to me obediently, and don't play tricks. Otherwise, I will let you roll off the Jianke Peak. After you leave Jinwuzong, your cultivation will be over. It's about to stop. Meng Xing glanced at him and said, Come with me. What do you want? Be polite when you talk to me. Zhang Santa said. Meng Xing went straight to a room and waved to Zhang Suntu. Zhang Suntu was at the 9th rank of the Open Pulse state, so he was naturally not afraid of Meng Xing. Although the other party had Xiao Hufa's guidance, the Open Pulse was successful, so he shouldn't be too strong. With a snort, he walked over. He wanted to see what Meng Xing wanted to do. With a bang, Meng Xing grabbed him by the neck, pushed him to the ground, and then punched him 3 times, hitting him directly in the stomach, making his body arch like a frying pan. General Shrimp. Zhang Sunto had no resistance at all. Instead he almost spit out the overnight meal, his face swollen purple. Meng Xing let him go and said coldly, It's easy for me to kill you. If you dare to threaten me again in the future, I will kill you with 1 punch. Zhang Sunto was terrified and said, Meng Xing, your cultivation is so powerful? When did you cultivate like this? This is the credit that senior sister Xiao taught me. Also, don't tell me about my cultivation. In the future, you will be your general manager. I will chop my firewood. If you tell me about my cultivation, I will kill you with 1 punch. You, take back the former Chu Lian with benefits. Meng Xing said. Yes, I definitely won't say it. Zhang Suntu said in a trembling voice. Zhang Suntu was really shocked. This Meng Xing was a genius in cultivation. He had become so powerful in just a few months. No wonder Xiao Yuluo valued him so much. Zhang Sunto had already felt that Meng Xing had already broken through to the second rank of the condensation realm. Zhang Santo still remembered that he had hit Meng Xing hard half a year ago. At that time, Meng Xing was almost killed, and the opponent had no strength to resist. Unexpectedly, since the other party got Xiao Yuluo's guidance, he is now soaring into the sky, and even many inner disciples are inferior to him. If he speaks out now, the other party will definitely get the best cultivation from the sect. Zhang Santo couldn't understand why Meng Xing stayed in the dining hall to chop wood. Why didn't he show his talent and get the cultivation of the sect? However, he didn't dare to offend Meng Xing. The few strokes just now cost him his life. He had no doubt that Meng Xing would definitely kill him. Even if he was killed, the other party would probably not be held accountable. Compared with a peerless genius, his life and death are not important at all. Moreover, he also bullied Meng Xing and beat him half to death. The other party wanted to hold him accountable, and the people in the law enforcement hall would not say anything, because it was his own fault. I hope you will do what you say. If you dare to reveal a word about what happened today, I will accept your life. Meng Xing said coldly again. Yes, I will definitely do it. Zhang Sunto's feet softened, feeling the murderous aura on Meng Xing's body. He couldn't help kneeling down. Meng Xing ignored him and went straight to the backyard to chop wood. Only then did Zhang Sunto stand up tremblingly, feeling as though he had walked through the gate of hell. Damn it! A firewood chopping disciple, Yu reading www.uukangsha.com has become so powerful. I dare to provoke him, isn't it because I think I have a long life? Zhang Sunto wiped the sweat on his forehead, a lingering fear in his heart. Look, the pain in the stomach is not too light. This guy is really lucky, and he has become so powerful after receiving Xiao Yuluo's guidance and cultivation. At this moment, Zhang Sunto was slapped on his body, causing him to kneel on the ground again in fright. Zhang Sunto, why did you kneel for us? Said a familiar voice. Zhang Sunto calmed down and saw that it was Huang Hufa, Ya Hufa, and Zhang Hufa. He was suddenly embarrassed. He thought it was Meng Xing. And he heard his whispered words. The three great guardians, why do you have time to come to this place of my brother? It's a rare visitor, let my dining hall be full of brilliance. Zhang Sunto quickly stood up, bent slightly, and showed a flattering smile. Well, we are free, so come here to sit. Huang Hufa said. If you have any good tea, give us a pot to drink. Hufa Zhang also said. Do you want to drink? I also have good wine here, tiger marrow and bone wine, which contains spiritual energy. Drinking it nourishes yin and nourishes the kidneys, and the waist will not hurt. Zhang Sandu said. The eyes of the three suddenly lit up, and Hufa Huang said, I didn't expect you to have such good stuff here. It's okay, give us a few cups. Zhang Sunto asked three people to sit down, and asked the busy guy in the kitchen to take out the hot wine and serve a few plates of snacks. I heard that Hufa Xiao came here yesterday. Hufa Ya said after taking a sip of wine. Zhang Sandu suddenly understood that these three people were here for Xiao Yuluo, and sure enough, the beauty is touching. Chapter 17, The Scene of the Death of the Society. Down the mountain Meng Xing was chopping wood when three options appeared in front of him. 1. Continue to chop 200 caddies of firewood. 2. Go into the dining hall and beat Huang, Ye, and Zhang for a meal. 3. Go in and say to them, Xiao Yuluo is mine, don't think about toads eating swan meat. It seems that the three guys are here again, triggering the system. Meng Xing looked at the options and hesitated for a while. He chopped 200 caddies of firewood. Although it didn't take much effort for him now, it would take more time. The second option is to go in and beat the three guardians. With his current strength, he seems to be able to deal with the three of them. In the past, he would have shown that both sides would suffer, but now he has not shown it, which shows that his improvement these days has surpassed them. However, it does not meet the purpose of his low-key development. Although it was a pleasure to beat them, he might also be famous for Jiankapik and become the target of public criticism. The third option seems to be the easiest task, but it's just a word, and it's easy and comfortable, and then it's enough to not recognize it. Moreover, with Xiao Yuluo in his pocket, forgive these three people and dare not do anything to themselves. After being warned by Xiao Yuluo last time, these three people never came to see them again, which shows that they are still very afraid of her. Well, it seems that this time the system wants to reward itself with a big one, and is going to put some water on it. Thinking of this, Meng Xing put down his axe and walked into the dining hall. You said that Hufa Xiao came here for Meng Xing? How could Hufa Xiao be so disregarded of his identity that he came here to find him for this little bastard? Hufa Huang said a little sadly. This, I don't know about Zhang, but I want to come to Hufa Xiao to supervise him personally. Zhang Suntu touched his stomach. He was punched 3 times just now, and it still hurts. Although he really wanted to scold Meng Xing, he couldn't help shuddering when he thought of his murderous eyes. However, the cultivation of these 3 guardians is very powerful, and they are definitely more powerful than Meng Xing. It would be wonderful if they could conflict with Meng Xing. He could also borrow their hands to clean up this Meng Xing and avenge his beating just now. Senior Brother Huang, I think we might as well do it and beat that little heart, Hufei said. At this moment, the 3 of them looked at each other when they saw Meng Xing walking in. Although they said ruthlessly, but if they really wanted to do something, they still had to think about Xiao Yuluo. If they really angered her, the consequences would be unimaginable. Zhang Suntu also shrank his body, and his heart trembled with fright. Meng Xing looked at the 3 guardians, hesitated for a while, and felt a bit ashamed to say this. What is the difference between Zhang Suntu and this guy? Moreover, he had no idea about Xiao Yuluo, he just regarded her as a senior sister. But when things come to an end, you can't back down, right? This is what the system forced me to do, so if I lose face, I will lose face. Anyway, I won't admit it in the future. He bit his head and said quickly, Xiao Yuluo is mine, don't think about toads eating swan meat. The task has been completed, and a random reward is obtained. Qinglian Burning Heaven Art, middle grade Xian level. Meng Xing breathed a sigh of relief. The system really poured water on him, and even gave him a mid-level Xian level reward. This time the task was too easy. Meng Xing, what are you talking about? Suddenly, a familiar voice entered Meng Xing's ears, making his body a little stiff. Meng Xing. A sentence suddenly popped out of his mind. The system is tricking me? This is to make me die on the spot. Meng Xing turned around slowly, with an embarrassed look on his face, and said, Senior sister, I was just saying that Xiao Yuluo is mine. Senior sister, don't let them think of anything wrong. I'm not embarrassed, it's others who are embarrassed. At this moment, Senior sister Xiao must be more embarrassed than me. Meng Xing thought to himself, and the embarrassed look on his face slowly disappeared. Xiao Yuluo stood slim at the door, wearing a light blue dress with a light blue ribbon around his waist, holding a long sword in his hand. His face was calm and indifferent, and he did not know what he was thinking. She nodded and said, Well done, come with me. Okay. Meng Xing bite the bullet and followed behind her. Didn't she say that she would come to find her in the afternoon? Why are you here in the morning? Meng Xing had some doubts in his mind. When the 3 guardians saw Xiao Yuluo, they were a little stunned, especially when they saw that she was not angry with Meng Xing's words. If they said this, I'm afraid they would have the heart to kill them. Don't look at Xiao Yuluo, who is usually soft and weak, but if he angers her, there is absolutely no good fruit to eat. Could it be that Meng Xing really hooked her heart away? How could a chopping wood disciple get her heart? Or do we really not know how to get a woman's affection? However, they did everything they were supposed to do, expressed great kindness and tolerance to Xiao Yuluo, and tried their best to flatter them, so why didn't they get it? The 3 guardians suddenly felt defeated. A woman's heart is really a needle in the sea, unpredictable. Meng Xing followed Xiao Yuluo, but found that she was walking down the mountain. Senior sister, what are we doing down the mountain? Meng Xing asked after taking a few steps forward. Since he crossed into this world, he has not been to the foot of the mountain. Every day he stays within the range of the disciples of Jianke Peak's outer sect, and he has never been to other peaks of Jinwuzong. He is simply an otaku among otaku. There was a big incident in a village at the foot of the mountain. Several villagers died silently. The county magistrate Zukui asked our Jinwuzong for help, and I hope we can help find out the cause. I took this task and want to take you there. Experience. Xiao Yuluo said. Just the 2 of us? How many more? Meng Xing asked. Yu reading www.uukansha.com. Others are already waiting for us at the foot of the mountain. Xiao Yuluo said. Do you want to receive the Qinglian Burning Heaven art that you obtained this time? The system pops up a prompt. Receive. Meng Xing suddenly felt a mysterious message pouring into his mind. At the same time, a slightly hot breath rushed into his body, circulated in his body for a week, and then flowed into his danshan, opening a fire spirit in his danshan. Pulse. Meng Xing was already familiar with this kind of empowering method. Meng Xing, walk faster, don't dawdle. Xiao Yuluo turned around and glanced at Meng Xing, who was behind, and said, Senior sister, don't worry. Meng Xing said, walking slowly. In my mind, I was comprehending the information that had just poured in. Qinglian Burning Heaven art is a mid-level Xian level cultivation art. Is it stronger than Lei Yuan Tian Gang art and Jing Shui Bo Yuan art? In these days of cultivation, the Lei Lingmei and the Shui Lingmei have also reached the 7th rank of the condensation realm, and their cultivation has actually surpassed Xiao Yuluo's 6th rank of the condensation realm, and it will take some time for the fire spirit vessel to reach this level. Practice. However, this is not difficult for Meng Xing. With the 2 spiritual meridians as the basis, coupled with the improved physical quality, it will definitely be easier to cultivate. When I came to the foot of the mountain, I saw 3 women and a man waiting there. Except for the young man who didn't know him, everyone else knew him. The 3 women are Luo Yao, Zhou Ruoqing, and Yesua Lian. These 3 seem to be a team of best friends, and they go all the way. Junior sister Xiao, you are here. The young man nodded with a smile and said, This is my senior brother Gu Qingzhou, who is also a disciple of the chief elder of the law enforcement hall. Xiao Yuluo introduced Meng Xing Chapter 18, The case is clueless. Senior brother Gu. Meng Xing bowed his hands and said. Gu Qingzhou glanced at Meng Xing and nodded slightly, his eyes still looking at Xiao Yuluo with some fiery enthusiasm. It turned out to be senior sister Xiao Suitor. Senior sister, there are a lot of people who like you. If a man marries you in the future, if he doesn't have enough strength to calm down the scene, wouldn't he be beaten to death? That man too poor and sad. Meng Xing groaned inwardly. The 3 of them, Luo Yao, Zhou Ruoqing, and Yesua Lian, you should already know. Xiao Yuluo continued to introduce Meng Xing 1. Salute to 3 people normally 2. Kneeling and licking Luo Yao, and said to her, You are my dream lover, how about we get together? 3rd, said to Xiao Yuluo, I already know them, and I plan to marry 3 of them in the future to enjoy the beauty. Meng Xing was suddenly shocked. This system is becoming more and more unreliable. This is trying to kill himself. He is obviously not a scumbag, but this system wants to lead him on the path of a scumbag. The embarrassing situation in the dining hall just now has not been completely eliminated. If he really chooses the 2nd or 3rd option in front of Xiao Yuluo, I am afraid she will really kill him. Well, not to be beaten to death by her, but also to be hated to death by her. Meng Xing decisively chose the 1st option. Although the system's reward was attractive, he couldn't sell himself for this reward. Senior sister Luo, senior sister Zhou, senior sister Ye. Meng Xing bowed his hands to the 3 of them. He had no choice but to become a junior brother even if he was 1 or 2 years older than them. The task has been completed. Get a random reward. Array +1. Luo Yao nodded and said, We already know each other. The expression on his face was flat. Zhou Ruoqing showed a smile and said, Meng Xing, I didn't expect senior sister Xiao to ask you to come along. Senior sister Xiao really values you? Alright, let's have a look together. His expression was very friendly, which made Meng Xing feel like a spring breeze. Yesua Lian glanced at him and said nothing. Hearing Zhou Ruoqing's words, Gu Qingzhou frowned slightly and said, Junior sister Xiao, what is his cultivation realm? Will it hold us back? 3-level open pulse realm. However, Meng Xing is very thoughtful about everything, and maybe he will help us. I will take care of him then, you can just do your own thing. Let's go there. Quickly. Look around the village. After speaking, Xiao Yuluo left first. Gu Qingzhou wanted to say something, but seeing Xiao Yuluo like this, he obviously didn't want to hear what he had to say, so he had to hold back, so he followed behind. Luo Yao's 3 women also followed. Meng Xing shook his head and didn't take Gu Qingzhou's words to heart. After all, it was normal for him to think so. The 6 people walked fast all the way. Among the 6 people, Luo Yao, Zhou Ruoqing, and Yeshui were all in the open pulse realm. Although the cultivation base in the open vein realm was only 9th rank, it was already the threshold for stepping into a martial artist, and their feet were faster than ordinary people. Meng Xing was not in a hurry or slow, and followed closely behind. His cultivation was a little stronger than Xiao Yuluo and Gu Qingzhou, but since he was clumsy, he naturally couldn't show it. An hour later, I came to a small village in a nearby town, Huanglong Village. In this area, Xiao Yuluo and Gu Qingzhou were very familiar. Obviously they came here to fight for the righteousness. There are hundreds of households in the village, which are close to the mountains and the water. Behind the village is a small mountain range, and in front of the village is a small river with a width of 1 zhang. When the crowd came here, there were already 3 arresters waiting in front of the village. When they saw them, they were naturally very polite and went forward to salute. One of them, Li Zikui, described what happened in the village. Just 10 days ago, there was a murder case. Here, 5 people were killed in one night, all of them were beaten to death. No one screamed, and it was all discovered the next day. Where are the corpses? Gu Qingzhou asked. The villagers were afraid that the body would stink if it was left for too long, so they buried it after 3 days, Li Zikui said. Have you found any clues? Gu Qingzhou asked again. No, I have no clue. We have been inspecting here for 10 days, and we haven't found anything unusual at all. It's like a ghost. Seeing that we are about to leave, I can't wait to ask you for help. I hope you can help. Li Zikui said. Has anyone here been from somewhere else lately? No, the people who live here are all the old villagers from generation to generation, and no one comes here. Li Zikui replied. Gu Qingzhou didn't see anything to ask, so he took everyone to check around the village, and even went to the homes of 5 dead people to ask some things. After some inspections, everyone was at a loss and had no clue. However, Meng Xing triggered a lot of options and gained a lot of skill attributes. Not bad, not bad. The place where the disciples of the outer sect of Jianke Peak have been visited, and the triggering system is getting more and more difficult. This is a good way to go down the mountain. Meng Xing was satisfied. Meng Xing, is there any way you can find out? Xiao Yuluo asked. There is no way. Meng Xing shook his head. However, those 5 people are all lazy people. They idle around in the village all day long and like to fight with people. It is possible that they hated people and died of vendetta. Meng Xing pondered for a while and said. What else? Xiao Yuluo continued to ask. All 5 of them were killed by one palm, which means that the one who killed them was probably a warrior, and at least not lower than the 3rd order of the open pulse realm, in order to be so clean and neat. Yu reading www.uukansha.com. Meng Xing said. Of course, it is also possible for people who practice other systems, such as cultivating demons or building foundations. Xiao Yuluo's eyes brightened, and he said, in this way, the scope of our inspections is much smaller. Recently, someone from the red-clothed demon sect has appeared on Jianke Peak. Is it possible that they are from the red-clothed demon sect? It's possible. It's a pity that the body has been buried, and we can't find anything more. Meng Xing said. Luo Yao's 3 women glanced at Meng Xing, but they didn't expect him to be able to analyze so much information. Gu Qingzhou said, these are actually not difficult to analyze. The important thing is how we find the murderer. 10 days have passed, and it is even more difficult to find. Actually, it's not that there is no clue. Meng Xing said. What else did you find? Xiao Yuluo asked with some shortness of breath. Brother Shakui, please call the village leader. I have something to ask him. Meng Xing said. Okay. A catcher left here, and soon, an old man about 60 years old was called. You young heroes, it's hard for you to come here to investigate the case. Such a big thing has happened, and now the villagers are uneasy and can't live in peace. I hope you will solve the case as soon as possible. The old man is very grateful, Salute said. We'll do our best, don't worry, old man. Meng Xing said, helping the village up. This is good, this is good. Muramasa said quickly. By the way, old man, has anyone here left the village in recent years? Or has anyone died? Meng Xing asked. The villager thought about it and said, most of the villagers in our village actually live and work in peace and contentment, and rarely leave. But, Chapter 19, Clues but what? Gu Qingzhou couldn't help asking. 6 years ago, there was an honest Huang daimyo who left the village. He was only 25 years old at the time, about the same age as the dead villagers. At that time, Huang daimyo was very close to one of them, Huang daimyo, and he wore one since he was a child. Pants. However, Huang daimyo's family died early, and he was left alone, so he left the village and went outside to seek a living. However, when he left, a widow in the village also happened to die. Everyone said that Huang daimyo killed him and reported it to the government, but he left here and I don't know where to go, and the government has never found him. Muramasa said. So, it is possible that Huang daimyo came back, killed these rogues in the village, and then fled here. Gu Qingzhou said. It's possible. Luo Yao said. So, as long as we find Huang daimyo, we can solve this case. Xiao Yuluo laughed. Not necessarily. Meng Xing shook his head. Why? Xiao Yuluo asked in surprise. Huang Daniel may die, or he may have traveled far away. It must be difficult to find him, Meng Xing said. So, as long as the murderer is not caught, the case will not be solved. Brother Meng, do you have a plan? Li Ziqui asked. As a member of the government, he naturally hopes to solve the case as soon as possible. No. Meng Xing shook his head. The crowd fell silent for a while. Meng Xing said, think about it here. I'll walk around and see if I find anything. I'll go with you. Xiao Yuluo said. Gu Qingzhou saw Xiao Yuluo follow Meng Xing. His face was a little ugly, but he couldn't say anything. Xiao Yuluo was so good to this Meng Xing, and he was always worried about his safety, which made Gu Qingzhou a little tasteful. He and Xiao Yuluo have known each other for so long, and he has never seen her so caring about him. Every time he sees him, he is treated like an ordinary senior brother. Meng Xing walked ahead and looked at every place carefully. However, the houses here are sparse. Each house is almost a dozen feet apart, rarely next to each other, and the houses are mottled and dilapidated, and many of them are thatched cottages, which shows the hard life of the villagers. 10 days have passed since the murder case. How easy is it to find clues? Unless it's a corpse exhumation, but for people in this era, the most taboo is to dig up other people's graves, so that the dead can't live in peace. And Meng Xing is not a criminal investigator, and he is not familiar with many methods of solving cases, so he can only try some of the methods he saw on TV in his previous life. He was walking in the village with some methods of solving cases that he had seen in his previous life running in his mind, and speculating and pondering in combination with the current situation. Before I knew it, when I came to a farmland, I saw that the seedlings were growing very well, green, and looking at the height of the seedlings, it seemed that they had just been sown. Meng Xing looked around, but found nothing. Suddenly, 3 options appeared in front of him. 1. Return to the original place, and find nothing. 2. Lead people into the cave in front. 3. Breaking into the cave alone. No result notification? Is it safe inside? However, this system can also trick people. Sometimes it doesn't show results, but it puts people in danger. The trouble needs to be solved by himself. Meng Xing thought to himself. After suffering a few system losses, Meng Xing was also a little more cautious. Also, where is the cave? Why didn't I find it? Meng Xing looked around. There were rice fields in front of him, and there was only a road on the left leading to the mountain. After walking 3 feet to the left, I saw a cave blocked by a huge boulder on the side of the mountain, which almost blocked the entire cave. According to the system's prompts, it is obviously dangerous, and you have to be careful. This place is relatively remote, and there should be fewer people coming here. Moreover, the boulder blocked the cave, and ordinary people couldn't move it at all. Unless more than a dozen people worked together, it was possible to remove the boulder. Of course, with the strength of his 8th grade condensing phase master, he can easily move away. Meng Xing thought about it, chose the first option, turned around and left. The task has been completed. Get a random reward, strength +1. This system is good. In special circumstances, it can warn of some dangers. Meng Xing, you looked at that cave just now, did you find anything? Xiao Yuluo asked. I didn't find it. However, it's a bit strange that the cave was blocked with a boulder. Let's go and ask Mu Zheng what's going on. Meng Xing said. Actually, you don't need to ask him. With my strength, I should be able to remove that boulder. Xiao Yuluo said. The two of us go into the cave, there may be great danger, we should ask the village leader first, and then call others to come here. Meng Xing said. Okay. Xiao Yuluo had no clue about these matters, so he could only listen to Meng Xing. Although she is the guardian of the outer sect disciples, the responsibility of this guardian is only to accompany the outer sect disciples down the mountain to practice, or to give instructions to the outer sect disciples in their cultivation, and there are very few cases of investigation. However, she didn't expect Meng Xing to know so much. He was so knowledgeable about this case, and attentive, that he was able to find some abnormal situations. A chopping wood disciple knew so much, Xiao Yu couldn't think of the reason. Meng Xing, when did you come to Jianke Peak of Jinwuzong? Xiao Yuluo asked. 3 years ago, when I was 15. Where is your home? The memory of the original owner appeared in Meng Xing's mind, and he said, Kingshu, a small town. My father was the landlord of the town. He died early, so he entrusted his family to bring me to Jinwu sect. Senior sister, you are asking me so many questions. Do you want to check my household registration? See if I am a fugitive from Dakin. Meng Xing said again. Xiao Yuluo smiled and said, our true martial sect has a lot of fugitives. If the elders or peak masters in the sect see those who are qualified to cultivate martial arts, UU reading www.uukangsha.com will bring them back to the sect to train them. Become a disciple. Meng Xing nodded, but it is true that people from the sect go down the mountain to select disciples every year. As long as they have the aptitude for cultivation, they will be trained well, but if the aptitude is not good, they will also be expelled from the sect. Zaiwu Zongman, just like the companies in the previous life, will also implement the rules of the game of survival of the fittest. Although it is cruel, it is very realistic. Otherwise, these martial arts sects would not be able to exist for so long, and would soon be eliminated by other forces. Before arriving at the village, Gu Qingzhou glanced at Meng Xing and said sourly, Junior brother Meng, you have been here for so long, you should have found traces of the case, right? I think you are quite sure about solving the case. Analysis. It's all righteous, but don't let us down. Meng Xing nodded and said, there are some discoveries. However, we still need to ask Muramasa. Old man, what is the purpose of the cave at the back of the village blocked with boulders? Meng Xing turned to the village chief and asked. That cave was formed naturally. It is said that it has existed for hundreds of years. Usually, almost no one goes there. But, Muramasa pondered. Uncle, what did you think of? Meng Xing asked hastily. However, 5 years ago, a huge boulder rolled down the mountain and automatically rolled onto the entrance of the cave, blocking the cave. At that time, the villagers thought it was an earthquake, and they were quite frightened, said the villager. 5 years ago, that is to say, 1 year after Huang Daniel left and the widow in the village died. Meng Xing said. The village's face suddenly changed greatly, his voice trembled, and he said, I remembered that the day the boulder rolled down happened to be June 12th, and it was also June 12th when Huang Daniel left and died with the widow in the village. Exactly a year apart. Chapter 20, Spooky Cave. It happened to be a year apart? That is to say, that day happened to be the death anniversary of the widow in the village. Meng Xing said. Yes, young hero, thanks to you reminding me, I just remembered. It's a coincidence that this incident revealed something strange. Muramasa said excitedly. So, there is something wrong with that cave? We must go in and check it out. Gu Qingzhou said. However, the boulder is very large, and I'm afraid it would take a dozen people to move it. Muramasa said. It's okay, I have a way. Let's go together. Gu Qingzhou said. Now is the time for him to act. Just now, Meng Xing had been holding him on the head, which really made him depressed. At this time, he was naturally extremely active and excited, feeling that he had to show himself well in front of Xiao Yuluo and Luo Yao and other women. Luo Yao, Zhou Ruoqing, Yesulian and others followed behind him. Xiao Yuluo glanced at Meng Xing and said, would you like to go together? Meng Xing showed a thoughtful expression and said, you guys go first, I'll think about it later. The system has already prompted that it might be more risky to go by yourself, and your strength needs to be hidden, and it will be troublesome if you have to display it. Therefore, Meng Xing planned to take a look from a distance, not to stir the muddy water. Since Gu Qingzhou loved the way he behaved, let him behave well. Li Zitu and the other 2 Zokui also followed. They were people in the yamen, and naturally they were duty-bound. The village is also curious, and followed with a few young and strong villagers. After a while, everyone left, leaving Meng Xing alone in front of the village. Meng Xing thought about it and followed from a distance. Seeing that Meng Xing was not following, Gu Qingzhou snorted and said, "You coward, you dare not follow me." Meng Xing is still thinking about solving the case, and his cultivation is only at the 3rd rank of the Pulse realm, so he can't help. How can you call him a coward? Xiao Yuluo's face was a little dissatisfied. Gu Qingzhuo's heart was even more sour. Xiao Yuluo was really interested in Meng Xing, and he even maintained this kid everywhere. Luo Yao was still very surprised by Meng Xing's talent in the analysis just now. He was able to find some clues from some trivial matters, but that's all. In this world, strength is still king. Without strength, no matter how smart you are, it is useless. Yes, Willian also disagreed, but Zhou Ruoqing was the only one who admired Meng Xing very much. Just now, she was able to analyze the situation well, and she seemed to be in control of the overall situation, like a high-ranking powerhouse. Soon, everyone came to the remote foot of the mountain at the back of the village, and they saw the cave blocked by huge rocks. Gu Qingzhou walked to the boulder and observed it for a while. The boulder was about his shoulders tall and wide, and it took 2 or 3 people to hug it. He said, "I can move this boulder away." Gu Qingzhou stood on his feet, took a good posture, stabilized his waist, and performed the exercises. A golden light flashed and circulated between his hands. He opened up the golden spirit vessel, so the vitality displayed is also golden. Holding the boulder in both hands, he shouted loudly, and with a loud rumbling sound, he moved the boulder to one side under the astonished eyes of the villagers and other villagers, exposing the entrance of the cave. "Young chivalrous man is truly divine," Muramasa exclaimed, giving him a thumbs up. Gu Qingzhuo's face was proud. He smiled slightly, and said a little modestly, "For those of us in the true martial sect, this is a trivial matter. This cave seems a little gloomy and weird, and there is actually cold air coming out." Xiao Yuluo said, "Everyone has felt it, and a trace of cold air emerges from the hole." Those villagers couldn't help shrinking their necks, and with a hint of fear, they stepped back a little bit. "It's dark inside, you must take a torch to go in and see," Luo Yao said. The village hurriedly called the villagers to fetch the torches and handed them to Gu Qingzhou. Gu Qingzhou held a lit torch, bent down, and entered first. The entrance of this cave is a bit small, but after entering 3 feet, it is suddenly enlightened. It turns out to be a cave the size of a house. Roar! At this moment, a shrill scream rang out in front, followed by a shadowy figure rushing towards him. With a bang, the torch in Gu Qingzhuo's hand was extinguished, so scared that Gu Qingzhou hurriedly lost the torch. With a bang, the long sword was pulled out, and the aura turned and flashed towards the void. The long sword burst out with golden rays of light in the darkness. Gu Qingzhou also saw the scene in the cave clearly. A shadowy figure retreated back to a corner of the cave. Roar! Roar! The figure kept roaring, its body twisted, and its face twisted, but its figure was somewhat illusory, like a ghost. Suddenly, the figure twisted its body and rushed towards Gu Qingzhou. The speed was so fast that Gu Qingzhou had no time to use his sword. With a bang, a pair of strange hands bombarded him and blasted him out of the cave. The shrill roar from the cave had already frightened the villagers outside to shudder, and when he saw Gu Qingzhou flying out, he couldn't help but let out a burst of exclamation, among which were Zhou Ruoqing and Yeswalian. A woman's scream. What? The sound shook the small mountain village, alarmed the birds in the bamboo forest, and caused a roar of dogs. Gu Qingzhou fell at the entrance of the cave, blood spilled from the corner of his mouth, and his face turned pale. Luo Yao quickly helped him up and said in a trembling voice, "Senior brother Gu, what happened? What's inside?" Xiao Yuluo stood in front of the entrance of the cave, holding a long sword, guarded by God, looked back at Gu Qingzhou. His eyes were a little concerned. Inside, there is a yin god who has cultivated into the Taoist system. She is a woman, but she has no physical body. Everyone be careful. Be careful? Psst! Gu Qingzhou spat out another mouthful of blood. What? Without a body, isn't that a female ghost? The village was so frightened that he sat down on the ground, his face turning pale. The other villagers turned around and ran away in fright. shouting, "Ghost! Ghost! Run!" These villagers did not know the cultivation system, and naturally thought that those without bodies were ghosts. Li Zhaokuai also trembled. While waiting for the 3 arrests, and Li Zhaokuai said in a trembling voice, "You young heroes, what should I do now? I've messed with a female ghost, and this female ghost will come to kill us at night, no matter how far it is." Many legends about ghosts appeared in Li Zhao's mind involuntarily. This yin has no physical body and can't go too far, otherwise she will be killed by the thunder. You don't have to worry. Now she can only come out at night and move around 10 kilometers away. Xiao Yuluo said, strong self-calm. So, the 5 rogues in the village were killed by this yin god. Li Zayatu let out a sigh of relief, and Yu reading www.yuyukangsha.com said with a little peace of mind. It should be. Xiao Yuluo said. To be honest, this is the first time Xiao Yuluo has seen a yin without a body. Normally, this kind of yin can't live long after leaving the body, but this yin doesn't know what's going on, and seems to have survived in this cave for a long time. What she said was based on what she had learned. If the 6th grade yin god in the Taoist cultivation system has a physical body, it will be extremely powerful. None of us can be an opponent of a master of the yin god realm. Xiao Yuluo said with a solemn expression. Their strongest is the 8th rank condensing phase, which is 2 realms worse than the 6th rank. However, without a physical body, it will become very weak. Compared with the original strength, it will be 1 or 2 realms worse. Now her strength should be between the 8th rank condensing phase realm and the 7th grade spirit refining realm. Xiao Yuluo said. Then what do we do now? Li Zayatu said. Li Zayatu was just an ordinary person, and he didn't understand the martial arts system, so he was at a loss for all this. It's alright. I'm a little better, and when I join forces with junior sister Xiao, I should be able to kill that yin goddess cultivator. Gu Qingzhou took a healing pill, and his face became slightly better. In the distance, Meng Xing saw this scene. Although he expected it, he was stunned. He didn't expect that there was a huge danger in the cave. The shrill scream gave Meng Xing goosebumps. Fortunately, he didn't break into the cave alone or bring him into the cave. Otherwise, he would have ended up like Gu Qingzhou and was beaten to the point of vomiting blood. Sure enough, the rewards of the system are not so easy to get. It is better to honestly obtain stable basic attribute points.